Hello, dear astrology lovers, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Alexandra, and I'm a professional ESAR certified astrologer. In today's video, we're covering the astrological transits for August 2026 and what a month it's going to be. We're entering the eclipse season, and on top of that, Mercury, Venus, Mars, and the Sun are all changing signs. Also, Mercury has just finished its retrograde journey through Cancer, and we're all eager to finally accelerate and move forward again. If July was marked by delays, misunderstandings, a melancholic mood with Mercury retrograde in Cancer, insecurity as well, or questioning different areas of your life, August is going to be quite the opposite. We're all going to feel a noticeable shift in energy, not only because Mercury is now moving direct, but also because of all the other planetary shifts taking place throughout the month. And now let's see what you can expect on a personal level. Hello, dear Cancer Rising. This is your horoscope for August 2026. You're starting the month with positive planetary changes. Venus, the planet of love, is entering the sign of Libra in your fourth house on August the 6th. And just a few days later, on the 9th, Mercury will enter the sign of Leo in your second house. When this happens, Venus in Libra in your fourth house, Mercury in Leo in your second house, and Uranus in Gemini in the 12th will form a powerful lotus configuration. In case you're not familiar with it, it consists of two sextiles and a trine, so it's very beneficial and harmonious. This means that the first half of the month could bring some positive changes to your finances, as well as your private business, in case you're an entrepreneur, and your family life. Venus in Libra in your fourth house could make the atmosphere and home more enjoyable. You could be inspired to bring more balance into your private life. And for some, this could mean redecorating your home even. And Venus will be well aspected by Mercury in Leo in your second house, which is the house of money, and by Uranus in Gemini as well. Uranus is all about changes. So you might decide to purchase some decorative items such as paintings, beautiful cushions, and other home accessories that would create a very pleasant atmosphere. Also, Venus in your fourth house will be in sextile with Jupiter in the second, which is great for your finances, but at the same time, it could ignite the desire to go shopping. If Mercury retrograde brought you some delays in payments, or if you wanted to buy something but it was out of stock, or overall there were some roadblocks in payments and transactions, they could be processed by mid-August, because not only will Mercury be transiting your second house, which is the house of money, but it will also form a conjunction with Jupiter in Leo, and they will both be in a harmonious aspect with Venus. And Mercury is the ruler of your third house, which represents communication and decision making. So there could be some important conversations about your finances in the first half of August, especially mid-August. So if you watched my video about Jupiter's transit through Leo, you heard that it could bring you opportunities to increase your income. And if you haven't seen it yet, then you can check it out after this one. You will see there are separate videos dedicated to Jupiter's transit through Leo for each rising sign, so you will find it quite easily. And also, if you've been thinking about asking for a raise or increasing the price of your products and services, or changing something in the way you make money, mid-August and the following weeks and months could bring some supportive circumstances. I'm mentioning the following weeks and months because of the solar eclipse that will happen in your second house on August 12th. More precisely, the first half of August and especially mid-August brings four beneficial planets into your second house. And on top of that, there will be the eclipse I just mentioned, which is also a new moon. So you'll have the Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Jupiter in the house of money on the 12th of August, when we'll also have the solar eclipse. And The solar eclipse, which is a new moon, will be in harmonious aspects. So it's such a powerful moment and such a powerful opportunity for new beginnings in this area of your life. This could be a pivotal moment for your future sources of income. It will happen at 20 degrees of Leo. So if you have any planets around this degree of Leo, you could experience significant events over the next 6 months, especially when it comes to your finances, material possessions, and value system. The conjunction is absolutely the strongest aspect, and then if you have any planets around 20 degrees of the other fire signs, as well as the air and fixed signs, this eclipse could shake them up and awaken their natal potential. So check which houses they rule and what kind of story they have to offer. In the weeks and months following the eclipse, incredible opportunities to improve your finances could show up, because maybe it's time to level up. The eclipse will be in the same sign as Jupiter, which represents money and expansion, and with a strong lotus configuration between Uranus, Venus, Mercury, and Jupiter in your second house. At the time of the eclipse, this could be the moment for a positive change in your financial situation. First of all, you could receive an unexpected income or a valuable gift, and then maybe you've also outgrown your current salary or the prices of your products and services. Maybe it's time for new collaborations, additional collaborations, or simply higher prices. And when it comes to higher prices, the main question is, do you value yourself enough? This eclipse is happening on the south node, which is like a hole that sucks everything in. And in this case, it could be your old value system. Remember that Uranus is harmoniously aspecting the eclipse from Gemini, from the sign of Gemini in your 12th house. And that's the house of your deep subconscious beliefs. Also, Mercury, the ruler of your third house, is included as well. So it's part of the stellium in Leo and forms a sextile with Uranus. This is an opportunity to change your mindset when it comes to your finances. The change on the outside happens only after the change on the inside. So it's good to remember that, especially this August. Are you ready for the next level? That's another big question. The solar eclipse on the south node in your second house is also asking you, what do you need to let go of so that you can grow? It could be some of your beliefs. It's good to know that all these planets in Leo will be in opposition to Pluto in your eighth house. So pay attention to taxes, debt, and other people's money over the next 6 months. Also, while growing and expanding, make sure that your taxes and other legal matters are in order. The planets that are in Leo are fast moving, but the effect of an eclipse is 6 months, so it will impact weeks and months after it. And Mercury is the ruler of your third house, as I mentioned, in opposition to Pluto in mid August. It could bring tension in communication, especially if there is a similar aspect between them in the birth chart. So make sure that whatever you're saying, you say it consciously, and pay attention to how you're reacting around the eclipse. Also, extra caution in traffic would be amazing, because Mercury also represents traffic. Nothing has to happen. It's just good to have these things in the back of your mind, because eclipses represent a bit sensitive periods, and it's good to be extra careful. And another big change is happening on the 11th of August, right before the eclipse. Mars, the ruler of your 5th and 10th house, will enter the sign of Cancer in the first. And right after stepping into Cancer, it will form a T-square with Venus in Libra and Neptune in Aries. Mars is in its fall in Cancer, and its actions are stimulated by emotions, which means that you could become more reactive to everything that's happening around you. As the ruler of your 5th house, it could trigger some challenges in your love life, especially because it will form a square with Venus. And it will be a wider square, but if you already have a tense aspect between them in your birth chart, you could definitely feel it. It could manifest as tension and misunderstanding with Neptune involved. And for that reason, it's good to try to avoid conflicts in the days around the eclipse, especially right before and after it. I mentioned that Mercury, the ruler of your third house, will be in opposition to Pluto, which can add fuel to the fire. So, overall, pay attention to that. And in the next 2 months, while Mars is transiting your first house, be aware of accidental injuries such as cuts and similar injuries, especially again if there is a difficult aspect between Mars and the Moon in your birth chart. I'm always mentioning your birth chart because it's the basis of everything that's happening to you. So for transit to bring something to you, there has to be something similar in your birth chart because that's your atmosphere. Your birth chart is your universe, and whenever transits resemble it, things from your birth chart can get activated. In the second half of August, Mars will form a square with Saturn in your 10th house. So, around those days, in the second half of August, try to get enough rest. Try not to overwork yourself because it could impact your health. It doesn't have to be anything bad, but it could be tiredness or fatigue and lack of energy in general. With the 10th house is involved, careful in your relationship with your boss and other authority figures. Both Mars and Saturn will be in the signs of their fall, which makes them even more malicious than they actually are. So it could trigger frustration, stubbornness, hatred, even in some cases, and conflicts. So try to keep calm and mind your own business until the end of the month. And when it comes to other things happening in the second half of the month, around August 21st, Venus in Libra in your fourth house will oppose Saturn in Aries in the 10th. So these couple of days are not particularly favorable for love and intimacy because Saturn is the ruler of your seventh house. If you have a difficult aspect between Venus and Saturn in your birth chart, take it easy around those days and enjoy some quality time on your own. And on the 23rd, the Sun will enter Virgo in your third house. And on the 25th, Mercury will follow. Both of these planets will be squared by Uranus in Gemini. So the end of the month could be a little stressful when it comes to communication, travel, traffic, and the affliction will be active until the end of the month. And on the 28th, we'll have a lunar eclipse on the North Node at 4 degrees of Pisces. So try to avoid conflicts and stress is in the second half of August, especially in the last, let's say, 7 to 10 days. If you have any planets around 4 degrees of Pisces and the other mutable signs, as well as the earth and water signs, the lunar eclipse could trigger significant changes. This eclipse will fall into your ninth house, and on the day of the eclipse, the sun will be in conjunction with Mercury in the third, and together with the moon in the ninth, they'll be forming a T square with Uranus in Gemini in the 12th. I wouldn't recommend traveling in the days around the eclipse, especially if there are similar afflictions in your birth chart. If you can, try to postpone it until a little later because there could be some disruptions, stressful events, cancellations, and similar. Of course, this is not for everyone. I'm just trying to cover as many possibilities as possible so that everyone can see what's relatable and what resonates. So take what resonates and leave the rest. This is a general reading. Also, with these intense aspect between Mercury, the Sun, Mercury, and Uranus on the day of the eclipse and in the days immediately before and after it. Try to avoid communicating too much with others because things could trigger you quite easily, especially with Mars in Cancer in your first house. Mars in Cancer in the first house can be quite reactive and passive aggressive, so you could be easily triggered. Try to focus on your own things, and try to avoid stress triggers. This eclipse could also break some connections and change the way you see certain things. It could bring the bigger picture with the ninth house and the north node involved, and overall change your mind about some areas of your life. The main theme of this eclipse is change because it's afflicted by Uranus, and since it includes the sun, which is your ego and self-consciousness, and Mercury, it's all about changes on the personal level, in the way we view things, in the way we think, and make our decisions. So, yeah, overall, the last week of August, it's not so beneficial for sudden decisions, connections with other people, and similar. It's better to slow down, think twice, and avoid being too radical. In the end, I want to clarify the impact of eclipses because some of you might get a little bit scared because of the affliction from Uranus. So it's good to know that for the events to be activated, the eclipse has to fall on a planet or house cusp in your birth chart, or simply form a strong aspect with a planet in it. If the eclipse is activating something in your horoscope, and on top of that you have similar aspects in your birth chart, then it could bring some important events. Otherwise, it can just pass. So not every eclipse will impact everyone. And if it does impact you, try to stay grounded in the last week of August, and remember that even if change happens, it's nothing but an opportunity for growth and expansion, even if it doesn't seem like that in the beginning. And at the end of the day, this lunar eclipse is happening on the North Node, which is quite beneficial. It works like Jupiter, and it represents growth. So if any changes happen, they are for the better. To sum everything up, it's a dynamic month. Try to make the most of the positive aspects and stay grounded at the end of it. I hope you found this video useful and inspiring. If you did, please subscribe to my channel and stay up to date with my monthly horoscopes and other astrology videos. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one.